Hi, in this video we're going to talk about simplifying these complex things. And now this is probably the hardest thing that we've done so far in class. The one thing you want to keep in mind is work from the inside out. So we're going to do the innermost parentheses first and then work from the inside out. Okay, so now notice if I go to my innermost parentheses, I've got x plus 3. I can't really do anything with that because I can't combine an x and a 3. So what I'm going to do is get rid of that parentheses by distributing whatever is on the outside, and here I have a 10, so I'm going to distribute that through. Notice that the 10 only gets distributed to what's immediately in the parentheses next to it, so it'll get distributed to the x and to the 3. It does not get distributed over here because the negative 4 is not in the parentheses that 10 is outside of. So 10 times x becomes 10x, and 10 times 3 becomes 30. And then I still have my minus 4. Okay, I'm not ready to get rid of my squares yet. Over here I'm going to do the same thing. I'm getting rid of my innermost parentheses, the rounded ones, okay, by distributing the 2. 2 times x, 2x, 2 times negative 1, negative 2, and then I have my plus 6. Again, notice, don't over distribute. I like to distribute probably more than the average person, but even I know not to over distribute, okay? We only distribute to what's in the parentheses next to the number. And now I'm going to go within each of my square brackets and simplify anything I can. I've got a 10x. I can't really combine it with anything, so that's going to leave me 10x. I've got 30 minus 4, so that's going to give me 26. And over here I've got a 2x. And negative 2 plus 6, which is a 4. Okay? And now we can just drop our parentheses. All right? Notice there's really nothing out front here to distribute or here. So I end up with 10x plus 26 plus 2x plus 4. And now for my last step, I just combine my like terms. I've got 10x and 2x. That gives me 12x. And I have 26 and 4, which leaves me 30. Again, remember we worked from the inside out. So let's try this next problem. It gets even hairier and scarier. All right, we've got rounded brackets, we've got square brackets, and notice out here I've got my squiggle brackets. Okay, that's what I call them. And the 3 is on the outside. Remember I said to work from the inside out, so the last thing we're going to do is take care of this 3 because it's on the way outside. So 3 is just going to come along for the ride till the end of this problem. All right, so in the meantime, I'm going to distribute within here. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of my rounded brackets on the very inside by distributing my 7. 7 times x gives me 7x. 7 times negative 2, negative 14. And then plus the 4. Now subtract, and I'm keeping my square brackets for now. Again, I'm going to get rid of my rounded brackets in here by distributing. I'm going to distribute the 2. 2 times 2x gives me 4x. 2 times negative 5 gives me negative 10. And then adding 6. All right. Now I'm going to go to my innermost brackets and combine like terms. Still got my 3 on the outside. I'll worry about you last. All right. Inside my square brackets, 7x minus 14 plus 4. So we end up with 7x minus 10. Because negative 14, positive 4 gives me negative 10. And I'm subtracting. Again, keep your square brackets or you'll get confused. And I'm going to combine like terms in here. I've got a 4x. I can't combine that with anything. But I have a negative 10 and a positive 6 combined to give me negative 4. All right, so why is it so important that we keep our square brackets? Because we can't just drop them. Right? If there was a number between squiggle and square right here, I'd have to distribute it. There is not. It's basically a 1. So I'm just going to drop these. 7x minus 10. And now notice I don't really have a number in front of my squares over here either, okay, but I do have a negative sign. And what do we know about a negative sign in front of the parentheses? It has to be distributed all the way through. So I'm going to have negative times 4x is a minus 4x, and the negative times the negative 4 is a positive 4. And now, within my squiggles, I can combine like term. Again, 3, you're coming along for the ride. I've got a 7x and a minus 4x combined to give me 3x. A negative 10 and a positive 4 combined to give me negative 6. And now, for my last step on this problem, I distribute through the 3 on the outside. Okay, so that's the last step. 3 times 3x gives me 9x, and 3 times a negative 6 gives me a negative 18. So So that would be my final answer. I know these look hairy, and I know they look scary. There's a lot of room to make mistakes. But if you work from the inside out, you'll be okay. So remember, to get rid of your rounds first, then go to the squares. If there's a number out front and you have squiggle brackets, make sure you just keep that along the way and that you do that last. And finally, probably the biggest mistake students make is they reach this point right here. They say, oh, this is minus 4x, but they forget to distribute through the negative. Don't let that be you. If there is a negative outside of our parentheses, we have to distribute it to everything in parentheses, such as here. Positive 4x became negative 4x. Negative 4 became positive 4.